Hi guys, welcome back to Geezagrills. Today we're going to do an unboxing of the Masterbuilt Gravity Series Rotisserie kit. This landed this morning. Happy days. Very straightforward. Let's open it up and see what's inside, shall we? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Be interested to see what this bad boy turns out like, because I'm going to cook a rotisserie pork loin. That's the plan to do with this fella. Anyway, let's get this baby out, shall we? The old obligatory polystyrene, where would be about that? Right. That's what's in the box so far. We've actually got 3 different sizes. These are obviously for 3 different machines. Now, picking up the old instructions, which I don't often use them if I'm being honest, but anyway, listen, basically, the long one says it is from R1. You know what I mean? So I need the big fella. I wish I was a big fella. Right, so we don't need these other 2. Keep hold of them, because you never know. You never know. You know what I mean? Let's open up everything, eh, shall we? See what else we've got in here. Oh, here's a tiger. Well, a nice long lead, that's a good sign. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the rotisserie leads can be bloody short. If you ain't got a plug near it, you're up shit creek without a pad, aren't you? Here's our rotisserie kit. Lovely. Wind's catching hold. It ain't the best day today, I ain't gonna lie to you. Right, now that's gonna be quite handy, because obviously it's got a plug in and a plug out, which basically means I'm assuming we're gonna be leaving this machine on all the time. Oh, maybe, maybe not. I don't. Listen, one thing's sure, we're not using it, we just unplug this bit, we could leave that hooked on. See what happens, shall we? Right, don't need that. All right, we've got the various plugs. We're in the UK, so we're gonna be using that fella there. You know what I mean? Don't need them. Alright, bits and bobs, odds and sods, got the old spikes, happy days, and that is pretty much it. So realistically, let's open this fella up, shall we? See what's in here. Now, I don't know if you're like me, like, you know, I always go balls deep, you know what I mean? So I just throw it in. Always a handy little screwdriver, a handy little spanner there, that's handy. Screwdriver's going to need a Phillips by the looks of it. This looks like it's going to be very straightforward, guys. I ain't going to lie to you. Let's bring you over for the next stage. So what it's saying here is I need to unscrew this little fella over here, all right? Well, that's a little bit worrying, because it said there should be a neck flange there, but there ain't a neck flange there. Why is there not a fucking neck flange there? Okay. Adapt and overcome. Ta-da! There wasn't a neck flange on that bit. What do you want me to say to you? Right, so next stage, it is telling me, oh, that was the neck flange. You've got to put the neck flange in. I can see. So now we've got these fella removed, do you know what I mean? That was the bit that was plugging the hole in there. Yeah, see the hole? Hello. All right, that's coming out the way. We don't need that anymore. What you're going to simply do is you're going to take the motor. There's a little hole on the side there. That's going to flick on there like so. Do you know what I mean? See, it looks quite neat. That's what I was trying to say. You leave this thing can stay on, and I can just unplug the lead. Do you know what I mean? So I ain't got this big fucking lead in the way all the time, like, you know. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this here, this phalange. What do you mean there's no phalange on the plane? And then we're going to push that through. It goes in like so. Now I'm going to bring you around in here. See this here fella here? Yeah, we're going to twist that up. Yeah, and then we're going to take this here fella, which is also supplied, and then we're going to tighten that up. And that seems to be pretty much it. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that might have been tighter for that bit there, but maybe it's meant to be a little bit loose. I would have thought there would have been another little bit of a flange on there. I just hope I don't lose any smoke out of there, because there is, if you can look, there is a bit of movement on there. I'm not too sure about that, if I'm being honest. So as you can see, you've got the motor that side, you've got the phalange that side, and that's obviously where the spigot goes for the rotisserie, you know what I mean? So, next stage, you look over there, there's 3 holes, and that is going to house this little fella in there like so. You know what I mean? And the beauty of this is that this is, once it's on, it's going to stay on, which I do like that idea. You ain't got to keep taking it on and off, you know what I mean? If you look at that fella, he's got a keyhole on that, so we are going to put the top screw in first, like so. Which is going to make it a lot easier to hang that fella on there, like so. which means it should make life a lot easier when we come to put in these little fellas in here. I don't over tighten them. Let's get all three of them in first before we try and whack them up, you know what I mean? And then away we go. This fella up top. And guys, that's the build part of it, if you like. And let's put that like that. All we're gonna do, we gotta just get this little fella in that little fella down there, yeah? And then this end is just gonna go on that end over there. Now I'm reckoning if we put it at some sort of angle, something like that, that should go straight in there very comfortably. Hooks on the doobry. Ta-da! That's just a quick test. Now let's take that bit out again. Now these are pretty straightforward. They're just going to go on. I'm just going to put these on just so we can have a visual at it. They're going to go on the end like so. And that one's going to go on the end like that so. Something very similar to that. Then we're going to put that in there, up the end. Oh, that. That's going to pop back in there. That's in that little fella there. Make sure, I don't know if you can see that, it's a little groove there. Make sure that groove is sitting in there. All right. Right, so you've got four little tabs on there and 4 little holes in there. You're just going to line the 2 of those up like that, all the 4 of those like that. And then, quite simply, away you go. Ta-da! Very straightforward. Then, I'm going to plug this fella in. I am loving this extra long bloody lead. That fella is just quite simply going to go into that fella like that. Little twist round so she's locked in securely. Because we're going to leave that on. I'm not going to take that fella off. That's staying on there. And then in theory, what happens if we push this button? Away she goes. That is pretty much it. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. There was a couple of little bits I wasn't sure, right? Do you know what I mean? But I still wish that would be a little bit tighter, if I'm being honest. I hope I don't lose any smoke out of there, because I will have the right ump if I do. But then we're going to find it out, because we are going to test it today. Well, there you have it, guys. That's taken literally about 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I can't be too upset with that. I've got these 2 bits I need to keep. You've got this angle spanner here, and this flange here. Phalange, which obviously you'll put back in the hole if you decide to stop using rotisserie. But I'm going to give this fella a test soon, so look forward to it. Now remember, don't forget to push all the fucking buttons, and I'll see you next time.